Hey you. Have you ever felt like you're just ordinary? Like everyone around you is doing something amazing, but you're just trying to survive the day? Maybe you've been wondering, am I a chosen one? Or am I just not meant for something big? Don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people secretly feel this way, and today we're going to talk about it real. In this video, I'll share 8 clear signs you are not a chosen one, and why that's actually not a bad thing. Yep, you heard me right. Not being chosen doesn't mean you're not valuable. In fact, it could mean your path is just different. And that's powerful too. So before you start overthinking, comparing yourself, or feeling like you're missing out, take a deep breath. We're in this together. This is a safe space where no one's judging you. So grab a snack, get comfy, and watch till the end, because the last few signs might really surprise you. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our community where we support each other through growth, truth, and just being real humans on a journey. Drop a comment below if you've ever felt not chosen. Let's talk about it. You're not invisible here. Ready? Let's break it down, and maybe even feel a little better by the end. Sometimes life feels like a race where everyone is running ahead, doing big things, and you're just standing still, watching it all happen. You see people achieving their dreams, becoming successful, glowing with confidence, and you start to wonder what's wrong with you. Why are they rising while you feel stuck in the same place? It's like you're in a movie, but you're not the main character. You're just in the background watching others shine. They seem so sure of themselves, like they were born with some kind of light or special mission. And you're still figuring things out, still trying to feel seen, still waiting for that aha moment that hasn't come. Here's where it hits different. Sometimes, deep down, a voice whispers, maybe I'm not one of the chosen ones, maybe I'm just ordinary. That thought hurts. It can make you feel small, invisible, and even lost. But here's something no one talks about enough. You are not alone in feeling this way. So many people are quietly carrying this same thought. Even the ones you think are chosen often feel unsure, tired, or left behind too. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're not worthy. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're in a moment of stillness, a moment where your soul is searching for meaning, for purpose, for direction. And that's not a weak place to be. That's a powerful place to be. Because it's in this space, this slow, quiet, stuck place, that real growth begins. The kind that can't be rushed. The kind that makes you stronger on the inside before anything changes on the outside. You might not feel chosen right now, but that doesn't mean you're not valuable, important, or meant for something beautiful. Everyone rises in their own time, and maybe, just maybe, your season is still on the way. People don't always say this out loud, but it's something you need to hear. Not everyone is meant to be a chosen one. And guess what? That's not a bad thing at all. In a world where everyone wants to be special, famous, or the center of attention, it's easy to feel like you're missing out if you're not the loudest voice in the room or the brightest star in the sky. We see others doing big things and we start thinking we're not enough because we're not doing the same. But that's not true. Not being a chosen one doesn't mean you have no purpose. It doesn't mean you're weak or forgotten or unimportant. It just means your journey is different. And that's perfectly okay. The chosen ones often walk a path full of pain, isolation, deep battles, and heavy responsibilities. It looks powerful from the outside, but it's not an easy road. Some people are built for that life. Others are meant to be the healers, the helpers, the quiet lights in the background who bring peace, support, and love in ways that aren't loud or flashy, but are just as needed. You don't have to be the main character to matter. You can be the one who keeps things steady, the one who listens, the one who lifts others up when they're falling. The world needs those people too. So let this truth bring you peace, not pressure. You don't have to force yourself into a story that doesn't fit. You don't have to prove anything to be worthy. Your value isn't based on how chosen you seem, but on the quiet strength you carry, the love you give, and the way you stay true to yourself, even when no one is watching. That's more powerful than you think. Some people would rather stay safe than step into something that might change them. They stick with what's familiar, even if it's boring or holding them back. They avoid hard questions, deep thoughts, or situations that challenge their beliefs. Why? Because it's more comfortable that way. Comfort, feel good. It's easy, it's warm, and it doesn't demand much from you. But here's the thing. Transformation never happens in comfort zones. Chosen ones, they don't get to stay comfortable. Their path is full of challenges, setbacks, and uncomfortable growth. They're called to walk through pain, not avoid it. They face tough truths, question everything, and stretch themselves over and over again, even when it hurts. If you find yourself always avoiding pain, change, or deep reflection, it might be a sign that you're not on the chosen one path, and that's perfectly okay. You're not less than anyone else. Just means you're on a different type of journey, one that may be slower, softer, or more steady. Some people are meant to be strong in stillness, not in struggle. Not everyone is called to break through the fire. Some are called to light candles in the dark for others. So if you crave comfort more than transformation, don't beat yourself up. That doesn't make you weak or lazy. It just means your role might be different. Maybe you're here to support, to love, to heal, or to enjoy life in a quieter way. The world needs all kinds of souls. Not everyone is meant to climb mountains. Some are here to build homes in the valley and keep the light on for others who pass through. And honestly, that's a beautiful kind of strength too. It's easy to go with the flow. Most people do. They follow what's trending, copy what's popular, and choose the safest path just to fit in. It feels easier to be accepted than to stand out. But here's something powerful to understand. The chosen ones rarely follow the crowd because they're not meant to. Chosen ones often start their journey alone. They feel different. Their thoughts are deeper, their hearts are heavier, and their eyes see what others ignore. They're not interested in just doing what everyone else is doing. They're called to something more. Something that doesn't always make sense to others. If you're always seeking the approval of others, if you're afraid to be different, to speak your truth, or to say no when the crowd says yes, you might not be on the chosen path. And that's okay, because following the crowd doesn't make you bad or weak. It just means you're in a season where belonging feels safer than becoming. You're human. We all want connection. But chosen ones are often asked to disconnect before they rise. They walk through silence, rejection, and loneliness before they ever lead others. That quiet space where no one understands you, that's where chosen ones are forged. But if you're not there, if you find peace in the company of the many instead of the calling of the few, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Some are meant to walk with the crowd. Some are meant to guide them. So ask yourself gently, are you following what feels true in your heart or just what feels safe? Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stand alone for what's right, even when no one claps for you. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Growth takes time. Awareness is the first step. There's a quiet fear that lives deep in many people, the fear of being rejected. It doesn't always shout, but it shows up in small choices. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny, stay silent when your heart wants to speak, or pretend to be someone else just to avoid standing out too much. You blend in because standing out feels scary, and slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to trade pieces of who you really are for the comfort of being accepted. Rejection hurts. It always has. That moment when someone pulls away, disagrees with you, or looks at you like you don't belong, it stings. It can make you feel like being yourself is dangerous. So you start shrinking. You hide your weird thoughts, your deep feelings, your real opinions, because somewhere inside you the message has settled in. If they truly saw me, they might leave. And for many people, being alone feels worse than being invisible. But here's the thing, chosen ones don't get to hide. Their journey is never about fitting in, it's about standing out for a reason. They are not called to please everyone, they are called to be true, even when it costs them approval, even when it means being misunderstood, laughed at, or left behind. Their mission is bigger than popularity. It's about purpose. If your biggest fear is being rejected, then you may still be chasing belonging more than you're chasing truth. You may be molding yourself into someone others can accept instead of becoming who you were born to be. And while that's human and deeply understandable, it's also something that holds you back from stepping into your full power. Authenticity is scary because it's vulnerable. It exposes you. It says, "This is me, take it or leave it." And sometimes people will leave it, but that's the cost of living honestly, and it's a price chosen ones are willing to pay. They'd rather lose people than lose themselves. So if you find yourself constantly shaping your identity based on what others think, if you're walking on eggshells just to be liked, pause and ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And what part of me am I sacrificing to keep everyone else comfortable? The truth is, not being a chosen one doesn't make you less worthy. But if you're not willing to risk being rejected for who you truly are, you may never know what it feels like to live freely, boldly, and with purpose. That kind of freedom starts when you stop fearing rejection and start honoring your own truth, no matter who walks away. Because at the end of the day, living a life that's fake just to feel accepted isn't living at all. Some people stay busy on the outside so they don't have to face what's going on inside. They keep scrolling, talking, working, or entertaining themselves just to avoid the silence. Because in silence, the real stuff shows up. The fears, the wounds, the patterns. And for many, that's too much. So they avoid it. They say, "I'm fine," even when they're not. They focus on everything except what's going on within. But here's the thing, chosen ones don't run from the inner work. They run toward it. The path of a chosen one isn't just about doing big things out there in the world. It's about transforming what's happening inside. They question their beliefs. They sit with their pain. They dig through childhood wounds, break generational cycles, and work hard to clear out anything that's not aligned with their true self. They don't wait for someone to fix them. They take responsibility for their energy, their thoughts, and their growth. If you find yourself avoiding that kind of deep reflection, if you're always distracting yourself from what hurts or pretending you're okay just to avoid the discomfort of healing, it might mean you're not being called to that level of spiritual growth. Not yet. And that's okay. Inner work is not easy. It's not pretty. It's not something you can fake. You can post quotes and wear crystals and light candles, but true transformation only happens when you're willing to face your own shadows. Chosen ones do this over and over again, not because they're perfect, but because they know they're not and they want to evolve. If you're not there yet, it doesn't mean you're lazy or broken. It just means you're in a different season. Maybe you're still building the strength to face the truth. Maybe you haven't hit the moment yet when avoiding your inner world hurts more than facing it. And that's okay. Everyone awakens at their own time. But know this, you can't grow if you won't look within. And the longer you avoid the parts of yourself that need healing, the longer you'll feel stuck in cycles that don't make sense. So if you truly want to evolve, if you truly want to step into something greater, it starts with you alone, honest and unafraid to go deep. The path of a chosen one is paved with inner work, and only the brave walk it. There's a difference between being loved and being liked. And in today's world, many people chase being liked by friends, family, strangers online, more than they chase being aligned with who they really are. They shape their actions around applause. They second-guess their voice if it doesn't get praise. They feel powerful only when someone else approves. And slowly, they begin to drift from their true path, all for a bit of validation. But chosen ones move differently. They don't wait for permission to be who they are. They don't need constant reassurance to know they're on the right path. That's because their actions come from alignment, not approval. They are guided by something deeper than likes, followers, or compliments. They're moved by purpose. If you find yourself checking how others will react before you make a move, if your joy rises or falls based on how much someone praises you, it might be a sign that you're still living for validation more than truth. And that's okay. We all want to be seen. We all want to feel loved. That's human. But when your whole identity depends on others clapping for you, you'll feel lost the moment they stop. Validation is fleeting. It's like chasing the wind, always moving, never stable. But alignment is steady. It's the quiet knowing that even if no one understands you, you're still doing what you were created to do. Chosen ones often walk lonely paths. They get misunderstood. They get criticized. Sometimes they don't get recognized until long after their work is done. But they keep going because they know their calling isn't about being popular. It's about being true. So ask yourself honestly, do I feel lost when no one notices me? Do I only feel good when others say I'm enough? Or can I be at peace even when no one claps? When you start seeking alignment over applause, your life begins to shift. You make braver choices. You stop explaining yourself so much. You become grounded in who you are, not who the world wants you to be. Because here's the truth. Validation might impress others, but alignment transforms you. And that's the path only the chosen ones truly walk. It's easy to point fingers when things aren't going right. We live in a world that encourages blame. Blame the system, blame your circumstances, blame your upbringing, blame the people around you. When things aren't progressing, it's tempting to look at everything and everyone else as the cause of your struggles. It's natural to feel frustrated when you hit roadblocks, but here's a powerful truth that's hard to swallow. Chosen ones don't blame others for their lack of progress. They take full responsibility for where they are, and that responsibility fuels their growth. Blaming others may feel like a quick fix. It provides a sense of relief, even if temporary. It allows you to avoid the uncomfortable truth. You have the power to change your own situation. But here's the catch. If you're constantly looking outward, blaming external forces, you're giving away your power. You're saying, I can't do anything about this. It's someone else's fault. And when you do that, you stop looking inward, where the real change needs to happen. Chosen ones understand this on a deep level. They don't ignore the challenges they face, but they own their part in creating or navigating those challenges. They don't sit back waiting for someone to come fix things for them. They look at their decisions, their habits, and their mindset, and take radical responsibility for how they respond to everything life throws at them. This doesn't mean they blame themselves for every setback. It's not about beating yourself up when things go wrong. It's about understanding that you always have the power to choose how you react. Even when life doesn't go according to plan, the way you approach the situation determines how far you'll go. Will you stay stuck in victimhood, blaming others for your circumstances? Or will you take responsibility and ask, what can I learn from this? If you find yourself blaming others more than you reflect on your own role in a situation, it's a wake-up call to stop and look within. Self-reflection is where true transformation begins. It's where you realize that your power lies in your choices, how you think, act, and respond to the world around you. So if you're stuck, take a moment and ask yourself, am I blaming others for my lack of progress, or am I taking responsibility for what I can change within myself? The path of the chosen one isn't about playing the victim. It's about stepping into your own power, looking inward, and making changes where they are needed. And once you do that, progress starts to happen, not because the world around you changed, but because you did. Not everyone is meant to be the main character in the grand story of life, and that's perfectly okay. In a world where everyone seems to be striving for their moment in the spotlight, it can be hard to accept that not everyone is called to lead the charge. But here's a powerful truth. Just because you're not the central figure in the story doesn't mean you're not important. In fact, it might mean that you're exactly where you're meant to be, helping someone else become the hero of their own journey. Some people are called to be healers, supporters, or teachers. They are the ones who quietly guide others through their struggles, offering wisdom and compassion when it's needed most. They might not be the ones who get the applause or the recognition, but without them, the story wouldn't move forward. These are the people who make a lasting impact, often in ways that go unnoticed or undervalued. If you've ever felt like you're always in the background, cheering on others or helping them through their toughest moments, don't undervalue your role. Chosen ones are not just the ones who shine on stage. They are often the quiet influencers who help create the environment for others to thrive. Think of the mentor who patiently guides the student, the friend who lifts someone up when they're down, or the parent who gives everything to ensure their children succeed. Being a healer or supporter might feel invisible at times, but that's where true power lies. When you help others grow, you too grow. The energy you pour into others can come back to you in ways that change your life in unexpected ways. The path of the chosen one is not always about standing out. Sometimes it's about standing beside someone else, helping them find their way. You might not be the one everyone talks about or the one everyone looks to for leadership, but without you, their journey would be much harder. You might be the quiet, steady force that keeps others moving forward. Your wisdom, your empathy, and your ability to nurture might be exactly what someone else needs to realize their full potential. So if you're not the one in the spotlight, don't think that you don't matter. In fact, you may be the most essential person in someone else's story. You help them find their light. And that's a role that deserves just as much honor as any other. The world needs healers, supporters, and teachers just as much as it needs the chosen ones leading the way. Your purpose is no less significant because in the end, every hero needs someone to believe in them. There's something powerful about awakening, something sacred about realizing your true purpose in the world, but it doesn't always happen all at once. Some people wake up to their calling early in life, while others take time to realize what they're meant to do. And if you're still waking up to your purpose, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind or like you're not worthy of being chosen. But here's the truth. Just because you haven't fully realized your calling yet doesn't mean it isn't there. Not everyone has an immediate, crystal clear sense of their mission in life. For some, it takes years of trial and error, of learning and unlearning, of exploring different paths. And that's completely okay. The journey of discovering your purpose isn't linear. It's a winding road filled with lessons, mistakes, and growth. You may still be figuring out who you truly are, what excites you, or how to align with your inner truth. And that's not a sign that you're not worthy or that your calling isn't real. It simply means you're in the process of waking up. It's easy to look at others who seem to have everything figured out and think you're somehow behind. But everyone's path is different. Some people wake up to their calling early, some later. But every awakening is valuable. Just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you won't get there. It means you're still learning, still growing, still unfolding. And the fact that you're even questioning, wondering, and seeking is a powerful sign that you're already on the path. The most important thing to remember is this: you are worthy of your calling, even if you don't fully see it yet. Every moment you spend reflecting, every step you take toward understanding yourself better, is a step toward realizing your purpose. The world has a way of calling people at different times, and your time will come. Just because the signs are not clear right now doesn't mean you're not being prepared for something greater. The process of waking up to your calling is a journey, not a race. It might take time to understand the full scope of your purpose, but that doesn't make you any less deserving. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. Keep reflecting, keep exploring, keep growing. Your calling is out there, waiting for you to recognize it when the time is right. Remember, you are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. The awakening process takes time, and you are worthy of discovering it in your own unique way. Keep believing. Your calling will come, and when it does, you'll be ready. In a world where we're often taught to aim for the spotlight, it's easy to believe that if we're not the one in the center of attention, our path is somehow less significant. But here's the truth. Your path is different, not less. Every journey has its unique twists and turns, and just because your role doesn't seem to fit the traditional idea of success doesn't mean it lacks power or value. The world celebrates the ones who take center stage, the leaders, the celebrities, the game changers. They get the applause, the recognition, and the admiration. But what about the people who work quietly in the background, supporting, building, nurturing, and guiding? Their contributions are just as essential, if not more so. Without them, the world would not function as it does. The path they walk may not be glamorous, but it is equally vital. There is immense power in playing your role with excellence, even when it's not in the spotlight. Think of the countless behind-the-scenes heroes who make things happen, teachers who shape young minds, parents who guide their children with love, friends who offer their support in times of need. They might not receive grand recognition, but their impact is undeniable, their role is irreplaceable. Your path, no matter how different it may seem from others, is filled with purpose. The journey might not always lead to fame or fortune, but it can lead to fulfillment, growth, and the knowledge that you played your part with authenticity and integrity. Excellence in your role, no matter how small it seems to others, contributes to the bigger picture. Every action you take, every choice you make with care, every moment you show up with your best self creates ripples that influence the world in ways you might never see. So if you ever feel like your path is not as grand as someone else's, remember that it doesn't make it any less important. Every person, no matter how big or small their role appears, has something valuable to offer. The quiet workers, the behind-the-scenes helpers, the supporters, they are the backbone of progress and change. The power is in being true to your path and playing your role with excellence. And when you do that, your impact is far-reaching, even if no one else notices. In the end, it's not about who gets the spotlight, it's about how you shine in your own way, regardless of where you stand. Your path is just as significant, just as powerful, and just as necessary. It's time to recognize the value in your journey, wherever it may lead. There are times in life when it feels like everything is at a standstill. You look around and see others moving forward, achieving their goals and stepping into their purpose, while you feel stuck in a season of rest. You may even start to wonder if you're being rejected, as if somehow you've been overlooked or left behind. But here's a different perspective. You're in a season of rest, not rejection. And sometimes what feels like being not chosen is actually a period of preparation or protection. Rest is not a punishment, it's a vital part of the process. Think about how nature works. Even the strongest trees go through cycles of dormancy, where they rest and regenerate before they bloom again. Just like nature, you too need time to recharge, reflect, and heal. It's easy to look at your quiet moments and feel discouraged, but this downtime is exactly what you need to build the strength, clarity, and resilience for the next phase of your journey. When you're not moving forward at the pace you want, it's tempting to believe you're being rejected, that you're being passed over for someone else. But in reality, this could be the universe's way of protecting you. Maybe you're not ready for what's coming next, or maybe there's something you need to learn before stepping into the next chapter. This rest period is a chance for you to realign with your purpose, refine your skills, and build a stronger foundation. It's also important to recognize that sometimes the greatest gift is the one you don't see right away. When you're not chosen for something in a particular moment, it could be because something bigger or more aligned with your true path is coming your way. The pauses in life are often not a sign of rejection, but of redirection. While others may be charging ahead, remember that there's no rush. Your time will come, and when it does, you'll be fully prepared to step into it with strength and purpose. The rest you're experiencing now is part of your journey, not a sign that you're being left behind. So instead of seeing it as a setback, embrace it as a season of growth. Use this time to rest, reflect, and re-energize, because when the time is right, you'll be ready to rise and shine brighter than ever. You are not being rejected, you are being prepared, nurtured, and protected for what's ahead. Keep trusting the process even if it feels slow. The best is yet to come. Which of these signs hit you the hardest? It's a powerful question, isn't it? Sometimes just pausing to reflect on how we feel or where we stand can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves. It might be uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort can be a catalyst for growth. Throughout this conversation, we've explored some hard truths about feeling stuck, about fearing rejection, about not always being in the spotlight, and perhaps one of these points hit home more than the others. Maybe you've had moments where you wondered if you were on the wrong path. Maybe you felt like your journey wasn't moving fast enough or that you weren't being chosen for something bigger. It's a feeling that many people experience, even if it's not talked about much. The reality is, we all go through periods where we feel left behind or out of sync with others. We see others succeed, step into their power, and seem to have everything figured out, while we're still trying to find our way. If you've ever thought you were being rejected or overlooked, it's important to understand that what feels like rejection might just be a form of protection or preparation. Maybe you're in a season of rest, a pause in your journey that's giving you the space you need to grow and reflect. The rest you're experiencing might be exactly what you need before you move forward. It could be the universe giving you time to recharge, to work on your inner self, or to step back and reassess your direction. While the world keeps moving, sometimes it's okay to take a breather, to regroup, and to realign with what truly matters to you. It's easy to get lost in the comparison game, especially when you're constantly measuring your progress against others. But remember, your path is unique, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Just because you're not in the spotlight right now doesn't mean you're less worthy or that your path is any less important. Some people are called to be in the limelight while others play crucial roles behind the scenes. Both paths matter, and both can lead to fulfillment and purpose. Playing your role with excellence, no matter how big or small, creates impact in ways that may not be immediately visible, but they are lasting. Maybe some of these signs resonated with you because they touch on something deep within, something you've been suppressing or avoiding. Perhaps you've been running from inner work, resisting change, or choosing comfort over growth. These are common challenges we all face, but recognizing them is the first step toward transformation. The chosen ones, those people who seem to have a special purpose or calling, are often those who choose to face their inner fears and embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. If you're feeling stuck or uncertain, it's important to ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What growth am I resisting? One of the hardest truths we often face is realizing that we may seek validation from others more than we seek alignment with our true selves. It's so easy to get caught up in wanting external approval, to base our worth on the opinions of others. But true alignment comes from within. When you live authentically, when you trust your own voice and instincts, the external validation becomes less important. True power lies in being true to yourself, no matter what others think. So, as you reflect on the signs we've talked about, ask yourself where you are in your journey. Are you in a season of rest, needing to recharge? Are you avoiding the inner work that will lead to transformation? Are you seeking validation rather than alignment? Are you afraid of rejection, or are you embracing your path with purpose, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's? The beauty of this reflection is that it gives you the chance to make a conscious choice. You don't have to stay stuck. You can decide to step into your power, to trust your process, and to recognize that your journey is just as valid as anyone else's. It may not be easy, and it might take time, but your growth is yours to own. Now I invite you to reflect and share. Which of these signs hit you the hardest? What insights have you gained from this? Your experience could help someone else who might be going through a similar journey. And remember, you're not alone. There's power in sharing and growing together. Have you been stressing about your purpose because of social media? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of what you see online. Every day, we're bombarded with curated highlights of other people's lives, their successes, and their journeys. The perfect vacations, the new accomplishments, the flawless relationships. It all seems so effortless, doesn't it? But here's the trap. Social media often shows only the polished moments, the end results, and never the behind-the-scenes struggles, the failures, or the hard work that goes into it all. And in that, we get sucked into the comparison game. Maybe you've looked at someone else's life and thought, why am I not there yet? Or why does it seem like they have it all figured out while I'm still trying to find my way? It's so easy to feel like you're falling behind when your timeline doesn't match someone else's. But let's be real for a second. You are not behind. Social media makes it seem like everyone is living their best life in real time, but in reality, that's just a snapshot. Behind those posts, people are going through their own challenges, their own setbacks, and their own growth. You are not alone in feeling uncertain about your path. When you allow social media to define your sense of purpose or success, it's like letting someone else set your standards. Your purpose isn't determined by how many likes, followers, or perfect moments you can capture. It's about discovering what truly resonates with you, aligning with your own journey, and taking the steps that feel right for you, not what everyone else is doing. So, if you've been stressing because your purpose doesn't look like someone else's, it's time to take a step back. Your journey is your own, and it doesn't need to match anyone else's timeline or highlight reel. Allow yourself the grace to move at your own pace and trust that your path will unfold exactly as it's meant to. Let go of the comparison trap and embrace your own unique journey. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. What if you're not a chosen one, but you're a trusted one? Let's pause and think about that for a moment. We've all heard about the chosen one, the person destined for greatness, with a special purpose that stands out. But what if you're not the chosen one? What if your role is different, yet equally significant? What if you're a trusted one instead? The idea of being chosen often carries a sense of pressure. There's this expectation that you'll rise to some grand destiny, take the lead, and be in the spotlight. But not everyone is called to that. The world needs leaders, yes, but it also needs those who support, nurture, and stand by others in their own unique ways. Being a trusted one means that you are the one people turn to when they need someone they can rely on. You might not have the loudest voice, but your influence is profound. You are the person who holds space for others, who provides strength when it's needed the most. The chosen ones may lead, but the trusted ones help hold the world together. Being trusted is a quiet yet incredibly powerful role. It's a role that demands loyalty, consistency, and an unwavering commitment to those around you. It means you're the backbone of the mission, the one who ensures everything runs smoothly, even if you're not always in the spotlight. You might not have the title of chosen, but your trustworthiness is what makes things work. This shift in perspective allows you to see your own worth in a new light. You may not have been called to fame, but you've been called to make a difference in ways that are often unseen but deeply impactful. You're the friend who lifts others up, the worker who makes the team stronger, the partner who supports without needing recognition. You are a trusted one, and that, my friend, is just as valuable as being chosen. So next time you feel like you're missing out on something because you're not the chosen one, remember this: you are a trusted one, and that is a role full of purpose, power, and profound impact. Your loyalty and support are the quiet strength that allows others to thrive, and that is a power in its own right. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with peace, not pressure. I know it can feel like the world is demanding so much from you. The pressure to find your purpose, to succeed, to be the one who rises above it all. It's exhausting. The constant comparisons, the endless goals, the need to live up to some image of success can weigh heavily on your mind. Maybe you've been stressing about whether you're doing enough, if you're enough, or if you're even on the right path. The idea that you need to be something or someone special to matter can be overwhelming. But here's the truth I want you to walk away with. You are already enough. You don't have to fit into the mold of someone else's expectations. You don't have to be a chosen one to be valuable, worthy, or to make a profound impact in this world. And by the end of this video, you'll have the emotional clarity to release that pressure and feel at peace with where you are in your journey right now. Let's take a step back together, because sometimes we get so caught up in the rush of life that we forget to pause and breathe. When you take a moment to just sit with yourself, to reflect on where you are right now, you'll realize something powerful. Your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be valid. You don't need to compare your progress with others, because your journey is uniquely yours. And that's the beauty of it. Often, we think we have to be chosen for something extraordinary. The idea of being a chosen one can feel alluring, like there's some grand mission or high calling that we're meant to fulfill, but it can also bring anxiety. What if you're not chosen? What if you're left behind or overlooked? These thoughts can drown us in doubt and make us question our worth. But I'm here to tell you this. Not being the chosen one doesn't make you any less important. In fact, it might be time for you to embrace a different identity, the trusted one. Think about it. The trusted ones are the ones who are counted on, who help hold things together behind the scenes. They're not always in the spotlight, but they're the ones who make the world work smoothly. Without them, things would fall apart. Being a trusted one doesn't mean you're destined for a life of insignificance. It means that your value is found in your reliability, your loyalty, and your ability to support and uplift others. Your strength lies in your ability to be a constant presence, a steady force in the lives of those around you. So, if you've been stressing about not being the chosen one, I want to reassure you, you're exactly where you need to be. Your role may not be glamorous or in the spotlight, but it is undeniably essential. You don't need to chase someone else's vision of success. Instead, take a moment to honor the role you already play, whether that's as a friend, a family member, a colleague, or a mentor. These are the connections and relationships that hold the most meaning and provide the deepest fulfillment. Another source of pressure we face is the feeling that we have to constantly be moving, constantly be working, constantly be growing, but in reality, there are seasons for everything. Sometimes growth isn't about pushing forward, it's about resting. You might find yourself in a season of rest, and it can feel frustrating when everyone around you seems to be advancing, but rest is not the same as stagnation. It's preparation,